What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Real Spit from the Gangsta Gone Legit. Before we get started, I'm going to need you to hit that like and smash that subscribe button. Today we have my man Derek J. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good, man.
Good to meet you.
I'm glad you can be on this platform, man. So tell me, first of all, where are you from?
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. And we're on a location in Atlanta, you guys. So we're going to be doing a lot of interviews out here. I want to get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and where you're from. You said you're from Dallas, so who are you? Who's Derek J?
Well, Derek J that's me, and I am from Dallas, and I'm now residing in Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you just got home recently.
Yes.
From where?
I did 11 and a half years in the feds.
Okay. And what did you go to jail for?
For mail fraud and wire fraud.
That's what's up. Okay. So you just got out recently. I know it must be hard for you out here with technology and all the things that have changed. How are you adjusting to that?
Man, it's an adjustment every day. Every day I learn a little more, but everything has changed so drastically. It's like riding a bike all over again, man. So I'm just learning one step at a time.
I'm sure. So let's go back a little bit. How young were you when you got into the game?
14. Left home at 14, never returned. Became an outlaw and renegade at an early age. We was raised poor like everyone else, and I just refused to live under those conditions. And I was the black sheep of five. I was the guy that made the difference and sacrificed my life for the family.
Okay. And so, was you a major player in Dallas? Like, did you make a lot of money in the game?
Well, I started at 14, and I made my first million by the age of 21.
Okay.
Of course, I didn't have it all at once.
Right.
But
you seen them. You went through a mill.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. As we all do. It comes in our hands and comes and goes.
Man, super fast.
Yeah. I have a friend who says it's not how much money you make, but it's how you keep it.
Man, that's a true statement.
That's definitely a true statement. I wish I would have learned how to keep it.
Having a plan in place is the key.
That's right.
You need to hustle. If you're going to hustle with a purpose.
Yeah, there you
hustle
go.
with a goal.
There you go. That's the Jew right there. Y'all remember that. If you're going to hustle with a purpose. All right. So, where did you end up doing your federal time?
Well, I went to several institutions. I started off at Beaumont USP, went from Beaumont USP to Beaumont Medium, and then from there to Hopedale Low, and then from Hopedale Low to Pollock Medium, and then from Pollock Medium to Fort Worth Low, and from Fort Worth Low to El Paso Camp, and from El Paso Camp back to Beaumont.
Okay. So they pretty much was just shipping you around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know the feeling, bro. They did that to me. I was in the feds too before. So now that you're home, are you? Well, first of all, before we talk about you being home, how many bids have you done?
This is my second bid.
Your second? Were they both federal?
Both federal. Yes.
Okay. Same crime each time?
No. First crime was a little different. First crime was insurance fraud and wire fraud and mail fraud.
Okay.
This time was just mail fraud and wire fraud.
Got you. All right. So, what do you do from here? Are you done with this part of your life? Are you putting that behind you now? Is that?
Well, for the first time in my life, I had an opportunity to self-reflect. Prison isn't all bad. Let me just say that first and foremost. It's not all bad. Prison can actually save your life. It saved me from myself. It gave me an opportunity to self-reflect and really realize the fact that what I was doing was hurting a lot of people. I was being selfish and self-centered. And I changed the lives of many people through my actions. And I won't do it again. So yeah, it was the last time I've committed a crime.
That's what's up. So I have to say I agree with you. When you say prison is not all bad, some people who have never been there, they're not going to understand what we mean by that. But I do. I understand firsthand what you mean. I've learned a lot in prison, and it actually helped shape and mold the man I am today.
Absolutely.
So I know what you mean. And for you viewers out there that may not understand why we would say something like that, that's the only place that you you are going to be in a cell where you have nothing but time to reflect on who you are, and you go through that one-on-one.
Well, what happens, I think, is you don't have the distractions of life anymore.
Yes.
You can't go to a movie. You can't go to the mall. You can't go out to dinner. You can't do the things that you would normally do to distract you from the wrongdoings that you've done.
Right.
You're isolated.
Yes.
You have nothing but time to relive those moments.
Right.
And reliving those moments sometimes bring about change inside.
So what is it about this second incarceration that made you say enough is enough?
Well,
because you didn't change the first time, right?
No, I didn't change, but I was young.
Okay.
The first time I was 22, 23.
Okay.
I'm
Second
53
time
now.
Oh, wow.
So, when you, everything changes in life. Everything changes with time, and that includes us.
That's right.
We grow in ways that we didn't know that we would grow. We mature in ways that we was unaware of. And as you grow and you becoming that, when you grow and become to that maturity level, certain things that used to make you happy no longer make you happy. The things you thought you needed, you no longer feel you need.
That's good. Let me ask you. You said you started off by saying that prison is not as bad as it seems, but what is some of the things that you went through in prison that you regretted? How about that? What is the most regretful thing that you went through?
I hurt a lot of people.
Okay.
And I was put in a position where I had to be a lion.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any history of violence,
okay,
but they put me in the worst prison in the U.S. In 2010, Beaumont was probably one of the most violent prisons in the U.S. And I was put in that position. I had to adapt, and part of that transition was either being hurt or hurting other people. And I can't change the pain that I've caused and inflicted on other people's lives. But I could say to you that I had a purpose to fight for my life, because I had a purpose to live. I didn't have a life sentence. I had a date. A lot of guys didn't have a date. And because I've had a date, that gave me motivation to want to live. I never gave up. I always kept my faith.
Now in the feds, when you have a date, that makes the other inmates in there, convicts, I don't want to use inmates really, but other convicts who have life sentences, that usually makes you a target to them. Did you have problems because you had a date and they didn't?
Well, no, I don't think I had a problem because of that reason. I think your maturity level and the way you carry yourself determines if you have problems or not. And if and when a problem occurs, you deal with it.
Right.
At some point you're going to have to be a man, and if you don't take that route as being a man in prison, then sad things are going to happen to you. So in that environment, and especially in that institution, yeah, you're going to take matters in your own hand and deal with it.
Okay. What is the best thing to happen to you? We talked about the worst, so what is the best thing to happen in the past 11 years?
The best thing to happen to me is me growing in an area in my life to where I realize and value life. I value what's more important to me now. Friendship. Creating relationships with substance.
Right.
Allowing people to earn your trust. Trust is not given, trust is earned.
Yes.
And when you choose to share your space with somebody, be it man or woman, you need to have a certain level of respect for one another, and those people need to earn your respect and earn your trust.
That's right. Okay. So, what would you tell today, knowing what you know? What would you tell your younger self?
Man,
you can take your time and think on that.
What would I tell my younger self? Well, you know something. A lot of people say God wasted life on the youth. I disagree with that statement. I think the youth is often misguided due to lack of education and lack of mentors. I think if more people took their roles as fathers and acted in a more respectable and responsible manner, I think that would have an outcome on some of the kids that are growing into becoming a men. Because when you don't have that father figure, when you don't have that male guidance, we tend to take, action in our own hand and make those bad choices. And sometimes those bad choices we can't correct. So I would tell anybody, we all make bad decisions, and we're gonna always make bad decisions. But don't make bad decisions where it affect your life for the rest of your life.
That's good. Yeah, so you had said something that really makes me want to elaborate on it, and you said something about mentors. And I agree with you 100% because I've never had a mentor ever. Even to date, because I'm doing a lot of new things, and I feel like had I had that, my life would have been a lot different too.
Absolutely.
A long time ago.
Absolutely.
And even if I had it now, because I'm doing something today where it's new to me and it's overwhelming at times. I usually don't really talk about it. This podcast, this Gangsta Gone Legit, it's a movement. And when I started it, I didn't know how big it was going to get, and it's going to get bigger as it goes on, right?
Absolutely.
And so when you talked about the mentor, it just hit me because I was like, damn, that's something I haven't had. And I wonder what would it be like if I had the big homie to say, yo, how am I supposed to really go about this? Or what do you think about that? And someone to bounce something off it. Like you said, the father figure.
And the most important thing about having a mentor is you have to be mature enough to receive that mentor's advice. Because often when we don't hear the answers we want to hear, we tend to shy away from that response and kind of go with what feels good, because 95% of the decisions we make in our life are made from how it feels to us. It's made from emotion opposed to our mind.
Right.
But and that all comes with maturity with time. So it just depends on what stage of your life you have the mentor, because you have to grow and develop those skills to be appreciative and receptive to a mentor.
I like that. Good advice. Okay. Next question is, how do you feel today being a free man? What you've been out for 2 months.
Yeah.
A little over 2 months, right?
Right.
So day to day, take me how do you wake up today? You're no longer waking up to head counts. So how does it make you feel?
Well, I'm in a new city. I have some adjustments, some major adjustments, because I'm adjusting to freedom, which is one big struggle. But adjusting to freedom in a new city where you don't know I don't know anyone here. So that's another adjustment. So trying to navigate through the city that I'm unfamiliar with, and trying to be socially accepted at the same time can sometimes be overwhelming.
I agree. Okay. Well, I wish you the best with that, and that's going to be, it'll be a struggle for a while, but you'll adjust. You're in a city that they got a lot of love out here,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
You'll be fine with that. Next question, and last question, before I let you go, is I know you weren't here for 11 and a half years, but I'm going to just say, I'm sure you watched the news and read the papers. How do you feel about the way our youth is today, as far as the activity that's going on with the senseless killings of each other? And how do you feel about that?
Man, I've seen a lot of it in prison, because from my first bid, which was in the early 90s, until this bid, it's a total different transition. The transition that had occurred, where now the feds are like a high-end state joint. A lot of people that are doing fed time should be doing state time.
Absolutely.
And these youngsters now are just reckless. They have no value for life. A lot of times they're in a different state of mind because of the drugs they're doing.
Yes.
And when they come down off that high, they've already committed the crime to change their lives forever. You can't take it back, man.
Right.
And I think a lot of them just lack of leadership, lack of father figures, lack of the willingness to be a better man than their father. I just think there's a combination of reasons of why this younger generation is responding so carelessly the way they are.
I like that. Good point. All right. Well, the last question that I wanted to ask you is, where do you see yourself, say, in the next 5 years?
Well, I'm in the movie industry. I'm hoping to refamiliarize myself with all the new equipment. They say Atlanta now is the Black Hollywood, which is part of the reason why I relocated here. In the next 5 years, with my tenacity and my work ethic, I really think that I'll be at a level to where I can give back and help other people that are walking through the same path that I'm walking through right now.
That's dope.
That's my goal.
I like that. Okay. Well, listen, man. This has been a pleasure interviewing you. I hope that we can do this again. This was last minute, and I appreciate the fact that you accepted it.
Thank you so much. This is my first interview, man, and
you did great.
I hope to get better as time progresses.